How upset you will be if I told you that all of this I made off camera? Hi, welcome to my lab. Idea for today's repaint came to me when I rerouted Varnish, the ghost fairy. Yes, it was that long ago. When I was looking at her, my brain told me,
hey, it would look really cute if you root these two colors into gradient.
no, brain, this is ridiculous. You know how experiments with her ended for Sally. It looks like vomit. And you know how long it will take and...
But you love this idea!
Yes, I do. So here we are. I have in my stock this Aquarius and Hatsune nylon hair from the Doll Planet on Etsy, which would look great together. For my model, I took this Monster High Clawdeen wolf because this hair color fits her skin color. Off camera, I took her to my Murin spa and prepared her for the repaint. I painted her scalp with gradient of colors to make myself guide for a reroute later. I was mixing lightest and darkest colors together, the same as I'll do with nylon hair later. These colors remind me of mint ice cream, and these usually have got chocolate chips inside, so I am painting few random spots with bronze paint to root them with brown nylon. And she's ready for the main attraction.
Much later.
So here we are 3 months later, and I did all this stuff off camera.
Unacceptable!
I rerouted her and prepared her dress back in July, and I couldn't film my work then. I was in huge rush and even I didn't make her new ears. I finished Vanish and Astral Chimera, and she was lying alone and faceless in this semi-abomination state, but now it's time to give her some love. Here's her hair more in detail. I was mixing nylon for each row. Her part is little uneven, just like mine. I like the result, so I'll be doing this again, this time on camera. I made her dress using Moonlight Jewel's Lolita dress pattern. I am not into Lolita fashion and patterns were very helpful. These bloomers I planned at first for Vanish, but they didn't suit her, so now they have got new owner. I also prepared her a pair of socks. Off camera, I covered her hair with cloth. This Clawdeen has got very loose legs, so to help her keep pose, I put 2 elastic bands to her hips. Old doll customizer trick. Then I sanded her body with nail buffers to remove this glossy top and prepare her for my airbrush. I started to contour her body and face with dark bronze paint, but my airbrush doesn't work as it's supposed to do. Oh, it is dying. I am not surprised, I repaint 2 dolls with it. Time for some research.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
It looks good now, so I can continue. My airbrush still is really splotchy today.
Ouch!
Maybe some gold highlights will save her. Still splotchy. Last time it worked better, but maybe sparkles will save her. After staring at her for a whole day, I realized that she is too sparkly. Yeah, it is possible. Scrapping this paint will be pain in the butt, so I sprayed her with paint similar to her original skin color. Then I started to contour her once more. Still, I am not fully controlling my airbrush, but learning is a process. I gave her yellow highlights, which was a bad idea. Although on camera it looks surprisingly acceptable. I need to learn more about shading darker skin colors. I'm white and I was usually drawing white characters, but I want to try new things and include more people of colors to my art. I sprayed her with DuraClear Ultra Matte Varnish and gave her some more life with bright red pastels. Well, maybe too bright. In general, face can be a little more reddish because of hormones, but it is very easy to be too extra. I was trying to tone it down a bit with white pastels. To be honest, in vivo it wasn't that intense, just my camera made it this red so strong. After sealing this layer, I sketched her eyes and brows with my Dervent Inktense watercolor pencils. When I was repainting my Astral Chimera, I realized that white Derwent pencil is not disappearing with my sealant, so I decided to try make with it some highlights and blend them with blending tool. But it turned out that it is not working very well for me. I like coloring book style, but this is not what I was going for today. Off camera, I covered her with couple layers of pastels, which hidden a bit these patches. When I was happy with my sketch, I moved to acrylic paints. I started from filling her eyes with white. I cannot use Mr. Super Clear, so pencils are not for me for full face-up. I am using them only for the initial sketch and then I am moving to the paints. I am usually adding few layers of white to scleras for full opacity, so in meantime I moved to the lips. When paint on her eyes dried, I painted her waterline and tear ducts. Using the same paint as for her base skin color, I added highlights and started to add small hair to her brows. Each time when I wasn't happy with the line, I was removing it with my finger when paint was still wet. I've seen people many times using pastels for making shadows in eyeballs, so I decided to give a shot. But again, it doesn't work for me. Paints are giving more texture than watercolor pencils, so pastels cannot lie on them smoothly. It's fine, at least I tried. It's important to try many things and find what works for you. I added some green mint hair to her eyebrows. I was thinking of leaving her natural brown eyebrows, but I thought that it would look strange with her green hair, so I gave her few green hairs, still trying to keep them dark. Now the most important part, the eyes. I am always leaving them till very end. I am giving her green eyes with brown halos. I am giving her also dark brown pupils because I don't like use pure black for it. Eyes always look so derpy without catch lights. Next, I painted her upper and lower lash lines to frame her eyes and finish the face up. Gently, I painted few small bottom eyelashes. I am not giving her upper lashes because she will get false lashes. After some finishing touches, I added white catch lights and her face is done. Off camera, I sprayed her with DuraClear Ultra Matte Varnish to protect the paint job and give her matte finish. My paints are glossy, which doesn't look very good for whole face up. I also corrected a little her waterline and added green eyeshadow, and now I am happy with her face. I took off protective cloth and cleaned it with comb her hairline. She looks so pretty. Time to style her lovely gradient hair. To style her hair, I borrow from my lab this mini spoon for measuring small amounts of reagents. I don't remember for what I used it last time, but it wasn't nothing dangerous. I pick up this because of its small diameter. I curled her strand on this spoon and heat it with hair straightener. When I wasn't happy with the curl, I straightened it and curled again until I was happy. And now I must do this for all of her hair.
One eternity later.
Okay, after 4 evenings, I ended with this pile of curls. It looks so good. Now I have to do this with other side of her head. Why? I am doing this to myself. So here she is, all curled. Finally.
It's done. Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
Ignore my injury, it is nothing serious. My hand usually aches when weather is rapidly changing. I can still hold a pipette with it, so it's fine. Anyway, I put her curls into 2 puffy ponytails. Using pet brush, I made them even more puffier. I cut the axes with scissors, shaping them into 2 balls. And tada! 2 fluffy afro puffs. I painted her molded underwater green. And for some shoots you can see her through my glasses. You can see the world how I see it. It's boring, I know. I also glossed her eyes and lips and glued her false lashes. For her shoes, I pick up these Ever After high ones, which belongs, as I remember, to Madeline Hatter. They are in perfect theme and they just need some repaint. Also, I found this Rochelle handbag, which will be really cute for my Mint Lolita after painting it mint green. Here they are! Dry brushing is great for showing these amazing details. Off camera I sculpted her this small hat thingy, which I painted brown. I am not done with accessories for her. I want to make her an umbrella. I started from making armature out of the tooth sticks. I am not aiming for the functionality this time, but it still was ambitious. I started from gluing 2 sticks together to make long handle. I don't have barbecue stick, so I have to make my own. But my super glue seems not working today. Number 3.
You failed me.
So instead of it, I used Elmer's Glue and masking tape. Then I moved to the arms. How could you call these things in umbrella in English? Anyway, at first I tried to glue them with hot glue with no success at all. Then I moved to the Elmer's Glue, but then I realized that I have to hold it like this for quite a long time, like an idiot. So I apologized hot glue and attached the arms with it, showing more patience this time. When glue dried, I tried size on Bloody Mary, my mannequin doll. It is quite big, but my Mint Lolita has got big hair, so she needs huge umbrella to cover her amazing puffs. I painted arm sticks with dark brown paint. Then I glued brown ribbon to the handle. To create umbrella body, I took this lace ribbon. It has got this middle part which can be put on each stick. Hooray, no glue this time! I got this. Looks cool, but it is still not an umbrella. To cover the blank spots, I sew more lace with white thread, trying to make seam lines as less visible as possible. Here it is! It looks so cute! I want this kind of umbrella for myself. It needs more decoration, so I prepared this string of beads and sew it to the umbrella. It actually exaggerates how wonky and uneven is this umbrella, but I still love it. To decorate it even more, I prepared these small bows and sewed them too. I have got this brown glitter in this adorable glass flask. I love this flask more than this glitter, by the way. And I glued each glitter piece to the ribbon, hiding the seam. Tada! Umbrella is done! I glued the same ribbon and glitter to her back to cover fleur-de-lis from Rochelle's bag, which doesn't match my design. And I think that we are ready for the final assembly. Wow, she is my most accessorized doll so far. It was huge fun working on her, and her hair turned out just as I imagined. I damaged her face up during curling her hair, but I decided to not cover it. You don't have to be ideal to be perfect. I still don't have a name for her. I was looking at some ice cream names, but nope. My friend suggested Dairy Queen. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all for all your support. It means a lot for me. I know that Halloween is coming and you were expecting some spooky dolls, but I don't have anything for this year. But if you really want, you can scarify everything. Let's try with my Mint Lolita.
Greetings, my servants. I'm evil ghost of ice creams. You will always have sore throat after you eat me, and I'm full of salmonella and listeria.
This is all for today, and see you next time. Bye!